What's up everyone, Willie Apple here, and today Apple has released macOS Sequoia 15.2 to everybody. And in this video I'll be showing you what is new inside the software. We got quite a bit to talk about. Let's get started. Alright, the first thing that is new inside this latest beta is we have new screen mirroring options. If I were to start AirPlaying to a TV right here, it will now ask me what I want to share. So if I want to use the TV as an extended display, I could just press extend display. If I want to just mirror my entire screen, press entire screen. Or brand new, something you've never been able to do before, is you could share your window or an app. So I'm not going to do any of this right now, but I will show you that if you go inside of your display settings right here, you have an option to change what is shown when you're connected to your TV. Alright, the next change is inside of system settings. So if I were to go to Apple Intelligence and Siri, you can see we now have a new extension section right here. And this is basically for ChatGPT integration. Before we did not have any of this. It makes Siri a lot smarter. However, it's not the type of Siri that we're going to be getting this spring. So if I were to type ask ChatGPT, I can now ask ChatGPT anything straight from Siri. So if I say, when was every Apple Silicon Mac released? It's just going to say working with ChatGPT. And it tells me when every single Apple Silicon Mac has released. And this information looks pretty much accurate, which is extremely nice to see. It tells you check important information for mistakes, because you know AI could just be wrong, so it's just nice that it warns you about that. And if you have ChatGPT Plus, you should be able to link it to Siri right here. Now next change is that we got a brand new app called Image Playground. So you will need to get approved for this app just like you were with Apple Intelligence. Basically how it works is just Apple's version of DALL-E or Google Imagen. It's just Apple made it. And it's a little bit different. So it's done the Apple way. So if I wanted a desert with a party hat and a birthday, you could mix themes, or you could add your own theme. So let's say Santa Claus. So while a prompt like Santa Claus isn't really good, I don't know why it's not editing. Still in its early stages, I can see beta right here. So now it's going to try generating something like this. And once it generates an image, you could also generate as an animation or an illustration. We'll hopefully get more styles in here in the future. And you could also add different images. So create an image based on a picture of photos, pets, nature, or food. You could choose a photo or you could take pictures. So I'm going to take a picture of myself because why not? Yeah, it's all done on the device. So my M1 chip right here is probably not handling it the best because of 8 GB of RAM. But just trust me that it generates images. Okay, it did generate something. And there it is right here. There's a picture of quote-unquote Santa Claus in the desert with a party hat and on a birthday. So this actually did a pretty good job. It generates some weird images sometimes. I'm going to save that one because why not? And you also have all your images saved right here. These were all generated in beta 1, and this is generated inside the latest RC release, inside of the smooth release of 15.2. You can see big difference, and I'm sure we'll get a lot better over time. So it's just really cool that we now have image generation with Apple platforms. Now our next feature has to do with Find My. So if I were to go into Find My right here, we now have a brand new Lost feature. If you go into an AirTag, you can show contact information and tap on continue to show information when people tap their phone on an AirTag. So this is used for if you forget a bag on the plane or something like that, and you don't want to go back to the airport. They'll be able to deliver it to you and you'll be able to see everything. They'll also be able to see everything. And then share item location. This is what would be used with the flight attendant if you leave it on the plane. So it's just really nice to see that we got some brand new features in here. Now next change has to do with writing tools. So if you were to go into a note right here and go inside of your writing tools, you now have a brand new compose option. So if you were to click on compose, you could compose with ChatGPT and you could say, write about how Willy Widgets is the best widget app ever. And it will do its best to generate what we have right now. So Willy Widgets is the best widget app, and it just tells us why. And you're also able to make changes. So if you were to go inside of here, you could describe what you want to change. Make this one simple sentence. And sometimes it does it with ChatGPT, other times it does it with Apple's own LLM tool. So, okay, this is not simple enough. I'm going to go back into here and see if we rewrite it to make it smaller. There it is. And there it is right here. I would say this is pretty true, except for the live activities part, which we had to ditch for a little bit. We are able to now compose things with ChatGPT or with writing tools. Now, the next change also has to do with Safari. So if you were to go into File right here, we now have two brand new options right here: export browser data to file and import browser data from file or folder. So if I were to click on this right here, I'm able to export all my bookmarks, history, extensions, credit cards, and passwords. And you can do it from all profiles or just one specific profile. If you don't click on download and choose where you want all that data, it may take a while, but there it is right here. Here is all of my Safari data and all my browsing history. You probably don't want to see it, just kidding. And then you're also able to import it. So let's say that you want to send all this data to your friend. They'll be able to import it just like that. Now, I wouldn't recommend it, but that's just an example use case of this feature. And let's move on to the next thing. And you might have seen it in the menu bar right here, but we now have weather inside of our menu bar. So if you were, to enable it, all you gotta do is go into System Settings, and then scroll down to Control Center, and then scroll down to all the way. We now have a weather option. So if we were to click on Show in Menu Bar, it shows the weather in the menu bar. It's basically what you would want. So weather right here tells you your location, your temperature, what it feels like, and the 5-hour conditions in the future. However, clicking on it will immediately open up the little popover right here. So let me do this again because it opened up on my wrong monitor. So I didn't click anything, I promise I didn't, but it should show a popover right here. I guess it's a little bit glitchy right now. And clicking on another location, I'm able to check the weather there as well. I'm able to just switch it and switch it again. And it's just really nice that we now have all of this inside of the menu bar. Now, the next change is a pretty interesting change. So if we were to go inside of the News app right here and go inside the Puzzles tab, we got a brand new game in here called Sudoku. So if you were to press play and then press play here, you're just able to play Sudoku inside of Apple News, which is extremely interesting on why this is even a feature. I don't get why we have this. But if I were to click here and then press on the 2 button, I'm just able to add it. I could just add some notes if I wanted to. And it just highlights it on where I've placed them or where they were already placed. So let's just say one goes right here. That's just a random guess, but you now have Sudoku built inside of Apple News if you really want to play it. And apparently is free for everyone, so just really nice to see. And lastly, inside this latest release of macOS Sequoia is also with Apple Intelligence, and it's not a brand new feature, so to say, but it's now that Apple Intelligence is now available in more countries, so it's not just in America, it's now available in the United Kingdom and a couple other places like Canada, I believe. So I don't remember for sure which places have it, but I'll put them up on the screen. But yeah, that's everything inside this latest release of macOS Sequoia. Pretty solid release. Now, should you update? I say, yeah, go ahead. I have had no issues with the latest release of Sequoia, and I highly recommend everybody to update as soon as they can. Now, is it stable enough from going from Sonoma to Sequoia? I say, yeah, it is now smooth enough, and I'll be sure to test that as soon as I can. And thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Download my apps in the description down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!